how are you guys? Well, I guess that's narrow. Sorry. So I'm Lori LaRose. I have Active Stamping here with Lori LaRose. I'm just laughing because we're doing the ABCs or the garden book. No, I'm just teasing. The ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of techniques today. But so I thought I'd just crack right down to it. But this is really close today. This is funny. Oh, there. So those of you guys that watch me once in a while, you know that I wish that somehow that Facebook did a change, and it's been a long time. So you guys have been hearing me complain for a long time. But all this extra stuff, but I like as much width as I have, basically is what I'm trying to say. I also think I watched yesterday, Tuesdays rather, rewatched it so that I could see, hello, Roz, what did I do with this little piece? I did find it, but it's a good thing I looked for it, you guys. So it was like that on the thing. I brought in the cutting board. I sliced something. When I moved the cutting board, won't do it now probably, but when I moved the cutting board, I noticed it was gone. I was like, wait. So I backed it up. I watched it again. Yep, sure enough. So then oh, there, see, it sticks to the bottom. And I did look underneath a couple of the stamp sets that were near my desk thinking that had happened. Did never think this. When I placed it over offside there, it actually fell down. And I would have never found it. Like, it would have been a long time because it actually fell down behind my printer. And so thank goodness I actually looked for it hard because it would have been gone. I am thinking I need to maybe clean behind that printer now for sure because maybe a couple other missing ones are there. Anyways, okay, we are going to get going here. We're doing landscapes and reflections. And I'm kind of just going to do landscapes. So I also posted on my page, I'm just looking at my little notes here for paper shares. If you are late like me to the game of ordering some of your paper stuff, sorry, I was kind of prepared. I've got a couple ideas and then I'm like, oh, should I do more? Should I do more? There's always more. So landscapes are kind of, we don't have, I don't know that we have, where's encircled? Encircled in nature. We don't have any landscapey things, but I'm going to show you some things going on here. Right, and then I have one more actually card. You know, I made a whole bunch, but a long time ago I made this little one and I stamped that down. I did do that rock and roll that I had talked about and the two colors that I was doing, which makes me kind of laugh. Although I think this is pecan and not copper. Yeah, Roz, right? It was sort of funny because I thought, well, how long did I talk for at the beginning? Because I don't love being a chatterer, but at the same time, I had to tell you my story on my beach. And then I got the idea of, wait just a minute. I'm going to check this out. So I fast forwarded it. I love this coffee cup. Anyways, this is the circle here, stamped straight on. And then I very cleverly, I'm just looking at this. Look at how clever I was on this card. I don't even remember doing this. I cut the top part away so that I could put a ribbon in here. And then I'm sure this is a whole nother piece. Look how clever that card is. Dang, I'm smart. Anyway, sorry, I didn't expect that. A little bit of a landscape in behind the coffee cup. And I thought it was kind of fun because although it's using the trees and shading, so to create landscapes, it's kind of nice to stamp off, like stamp once and then stamp a second generation stamp. And that gives you some depth of field for a landscape look. So this was cool because it was a landscape, but it also was neat because Tuesday's texture was there. And then, yeah, I think I must have been just really stumped as to how I was going to blend those two things that day. Who knows how my brain works sometimes, but wow, look at that. Cut that. Oh, and I did stamp around that die. Interesting. I must have masked that and stamped over it. Anyways, okay, so landscapes, we used to have some different sets that worked really well for landscapes as well. Hi, Natalie. And yes, the Grove sets. And there is the one, you're right, totally, Keisha, the one is still current here, actually, and I almost pulled it out. Although I have to say, This is almost a landscape one as well. I think you could use this as a landscape. When I was looking, and I really did look, and I was having, oh, you know what? I can show one of your cards, Keisha. That, because I was thinking, because I was putting away all the DSPs that are sort of landscapies. And this paper, and Keisha added in one of the neat things and created a bit of a scenery. So I don't know, is there a difference between landscape and sceneries? I guess maybe that would be. We're going to work with reflections in just a couple seconds here. I'm going to work on showing you how to do a reverse image, a mirror image. So I'm going to take it, hopefully MLM. Hopefully M is not right into mirroring. Or next week, we're just going to reiterate all of our stories, which is okay because it'll be good. I love this set. That was totally a built up from all these different pieces. So that was a fun one to have. And in fact, I used the grass and the clouds together. Keisha was saying, where is that one? We did a whole month of the one grove. You guys, what's the start of the name? I have my stuff in alphabetical order. And when I don't know names anymore, I don't know what that one's called. From our home, would be able to maybe make things. And I did almost pull, I had one of those. Oh, and then the churches, we also created landscapes for sure. The one I'm looking for is the one that goes with that set. And then, of course, we were doing scenes behind it all the time. And again, these were kind of vague. So I'm not sure, did I actually mail my cards, girls, or have I hidden them somewhere? Because I couldn't find any cards from the 2 months where we did this as well. Again, a little bit of a scenery behind, but that is also, I didn't create that. That's that paper. So you can cheat with landscapes and have just the paper too, right? Okay. And then this cute little, see, I do think this can be a scene, right? It is a scene. And it's behind there. So those guys are tucked in behind that thing. And then this definitely, whatever the set comes with, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking, is totally. So I guess a couple hints I can get from just looking at some stuff. I've got this in front of me. Masking the foreground so that you can stamp behind it will create your scene. And I can show you how to do that if you're kind of like, hey, what do you mean? And then I am very ambitious. So if next week is mirrors, which I don't think it will be because this is literally reflections. So I can't see us doing reflections and then mirroring, but well, stranger things have happened. I'm very ambitious that I'd like somehow to have this on a garden pool. You know how a garden pond, and have this in a garden pond reflection. But my mind is not going, it's not nubile enough right now to do that. This one will sort of create some scenes, but it'll give it a nuance of a scene. And then definitely fun ones, scenes, and landscapes. Clouds add lots to a scene for sure. And my favorite clouds are, of course, the essential borders that we had a couple years ago. And you'll see me using that set a ton. If you're able to grab it somewhere or somehow, go for it. There's a new one coming out. I'm not quite sure how. I don't think there'll be clouds in it per se, but the edge dies are really, really fun to have. Anyways, it's super cool. That one's a fun one. And then I was reading crazy, talking reflections as I'm segueing to reflections. I did a series on birthdays for artists. And this is I just took a Q-tip and did a little imagining there, I think, because of the way that one was. But essentially what we're going to create today is stamping this image down onto the water so that we have the reflection. So we're going to start with some, we've got scenes, we've got reflections, and if you have the little paradise palms, that's a fun one to do some reflections. Depending on the timing, I may pull this in. Oh, that's why I can't find it, because it's right here. Already pulled it out to show you. This is definitely a scene, and I'll be using the trees, actually. That's why I have it pulled out, because those trees are good. And mountains, we actually, also great to do. These guys, you can just kind of do a little smudgy green as opposed to worrying about stamping that. Okay, so things that you can use and have. A lot of people talk about using this guy. Hi, Anne. The silicone mat that we have in Stampin' Up. I'll show you this one. And I'm curious because I actually didn't do this because, you know, as much as I pretend like I'm going to be really ready for y'all, then I don't. But I have been practicing with plastic. Using the two words together is very difficult. No, just a little thin, and I've even just been using the thin part. This is literally the top of my stamps, right? I think some people are talking about doing the bottom. For me, it was too hard to get everything off. This was easy. This is the part I peel off. That's the part I was using. And I will show you not a reflection, but a reverse, literally a mirror today. So we've got a few things that I'm going to be showing you, and we'll see if we get a card created at the same time today. All right, push everything aside. No, I'm just teasing. I'm going to leave those there because they actually are good while I'm going. Okay, so of course I should also have some white paper and okay, so I'm going to show you a couple things, and then I'm going to go with something that I had an idea with, or we'll see. Okay, let's play with this. Okay, paper. And paper. Okay. So everything usually almost always starts with building up the background, obviously. Hang on. I got four. So, oh, you know what? I'm going to do this. We need a big circle. I'm going to do a moonlit one to begin with because it's pretty. You can do it sunshine as well. You can do a sunrise or a sunset or a moonrise. In my case, I think I'm going to do a moonrise. Using Post-it notes is very helpful. I know I don't have any Post-it notes, so that's not going to happen right now. But that's okay. You can get around it regardless. Okay. So, okay, here we go. So I need to have, and I brought that out already, my pool party. And the blending pen that I'm going to use, I already was doing a little tiny bit with darker blue already. Oh, Connie gave me this nice thing. It's supposed to help hold on to that. So, okay, so we want our moon to be about there. So coming in off the edge and going, my pool party might look a little darker than yours as you get going with this. I should have invited you to go grab a piece of paper too. And I'm working with a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of paper, and I'm just going to put blue basically everywhere because I need it for everywhere except where I've got the moon. So if you have a Post-it note, you probably aren't having to hold on to the thing quite as much as I am. However, the bottom of it never has Post-it notes. It's not like the whole thing. This actually probably is a good time to advertise, and I have them over there. I should do it. We have some sort of masking sticky paper, and this would be a really good time to probably utilize that. Hello, Lori, sales lady. All right. And it's kind of, this is a step that sort of to me is like, do I really need to do that? But it does add it adds a layer of depth. That's kind of crazy because we're going to go on and go over it with darker now. So it's sort of like, did I really need to do that? Yeah, because there's areas that you still really don't hit, and there'll be the lighter areas. That being said, well, and I usually come back in as well with it, but that being said, I do want the area right around there. I did, when I was reading some stuff, I saw some people talk about going around in swirls like we usually do, but doing swipes for a little bit more watery look. So this is the Azure Afternoon, and we're going to come in from the side again, and I'm going to go across the top to deepen the sky. I'm going to leave the light color closer to the moon itself because the moon casts that little halo around itself, right? and then deep water. And I'm going to kind of avoid a little tiny bit in the middle as well as I'm doing this, because the moon is going to also cast a shadow on the water. And I'm going to bring in Blueberry Bushel as well and get even deeper. If you're thinking, okay, I'll kind of catch up with you, and then I'll pause as you've moved on, Lori, and I'm still coloring. That's okay. Pretty. And then I am not going to use Blueberry Bushel. I am, but I got to find it. Hang on a second. Hello, Blueberry Bushel. How was I good and I had 2 out here, but not now the 3rd? I've got Boho Blue. How many movies, how many of my lives do I need to watch to know what I did with my Blueberry Bushel last? Oh. Okay. Pivot, Lori. I'm going to pull in, and you definitely don't need to have, well, this will be darker. I'm going to pull in Starry Sky for this one. It's an older color. What I will suggest to you guys is use your Blueberry Bushel and then Night of Navy. I might not need to use those now that I'm going straight to the, so I'm cheating. And I really do think yours will turn out better if you do a little Blueberry Bushel and then a little bit of the Starry Sky. And I'm continuing just to use the same, what do you call it as well? The same blending brush all the way through. But I'm trying to get my dark sky. I might still use a little bit of Night of Navy right on this guy. And I'm going to bring this down to the edges as well. And then the deep dark water. And I will say that not having the Blueberry Bushel in here, I am missing a layer. You can see the color sort of, right? I also noticed when I was, hi Teresa, if you're commenting, I apologize because I am playing and I'm not watching very much. It's funny because I think there was blue there, but because this is so much darker now, we don't see it so much, hey? What was I going to say? What was I going to say to myself? Hang on. I don't know. I was talking to a friend of mine that's a pilot, and with the planets aligning, which sounds so wacky-do in my world, and I apologize to people who have always watched their astrological signs and stuff, but I don't. But that literally the planets are aligning right now, and it's pretty cool to watch them on the horizon. Our last few nights have been really, really cloudy, and not so bad actually with this fullish moon. Fullish, it's totally full right now. We can't see the stars and the planets anyways, but it's been kind of cool to watch them aligning. So when I was talking to the pilot, I was like, oh, hey, can you see, like, would you go up at nighttime just to be able to experience that? Like, how cool would that be? I'm getting some Night of Navy. And so I have to say, I watched a Michelle Zindorf, who is the queen of, and she does a lot of this actually. She used to do with a brayer. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. And she is freaking amazing. Let me just tell you that. Oh, she did use it. And I was going to say, she did it like this. And then she does bring in a half. I was just going to say, I don't think she used a half thing, but yeah, she did. I'm lying. Okay, so, hang on a second. I'm just getting I'm getting a square piece of paper to mask now my horizon, okay? All right, yes. Okay, so this is Starry Sky still. I brought in my Night of Navy for just a little bit darker. Anyways, he said, and that's why I'm saying about this, he didn't fly at nighttime because it's really easy. On a full moon, it's not too bad. It lights up things pretty great. But it's pretty easy to get twisted around in the dark and not know which way's up. And I thought, just not looking at this, I don't know which side's up and which side's my down anymore. That's where that story is coming from. Sort of further on that. Oh, and be a little bit careful how, now I'm coming in with the dark. So it's not, this is not my time now to go and be like, I want that to be darker. No, no, you're just doing the edges right now, Lori. If you want darker, you have to go back to another color. Yes, I'm telling myself off. Yes, by the way. All right. Just the edges, Lori, just the edges. If you want more of something, go back with a different color. Okay. We'll see what this is looking like. You got to trust the system a little tiny bit. I say as I'm looking and being like, wow. Okay. Now, I'm going to pull this guy in. And if it helps, since we have grid paper anyways, to line this up so that it's straight, and then come across. I want most of it up in the sky. I'm going to come across at that line there, I think. So I'm lining this all up so it's straight, and then I'm going to come in here, here. Okay, perfect. And I am going to put in, come on, one-handed Lori. Yay! I am going to put in some darker navy all the way across right here, because this is going to be my horizon. Okay, now I'm going to pull out the moon, and it's a bit of an unveil as well. It'll be like, oh, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp some trees here. Stay there, you little sucker. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp my trees. Looking to see how big they are. And how big are they when I actually open this? How big was this? 90%. Perfect. I wanted them to be a little bit bigger, and they are. So with these, stamping in black probably, you could maybe get away. Oh, if you have the old evergreen, that might be nice on a really full moon. You'd still be able to see some colors, but generally speaking, we're going to stamp in black. And of course, I have my new fabulous heavy performance black ink pad that I made. And we're going to stamp our trees. Oh, what the heck? It doesn't happen very often that. Okay, hang on a second. I don't know why that happened. I have to say, I've said before, I do love, I feel like I'm totally talking to myself because I'm not looking at what you guys are saying at all. And hopefully you're engrossed with what I'm doing. Ugh. Okay. Just push that down, hoping. Okay. Lining up my little guys again. Exaggerating. M is for masking paper. You're right, Roz. That's funny. And I could have done it. That would have worked. That's funny. It's a good one. Okay. So I'm doing this, and now I'm stamping here. And I am stamping partly onto here because I wanted it a little lower, I thought. Okay. Oh, that's not my black. And then do a big one over here. Come on, ink. Do your thing. I want it to be solid, obviously. Nice. And then I'm going to put another little guy. Thought I was higher. That's so funny. I literally thought I went higher. I went exactly the same height. Oh, wow. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp another little guy right here. Okay. Awesome. Oh, I went a little crooky-eyed. Rats. Okay. That can happen. Oh, and that is the one thing. You do want this to be straight, hopefully, because otherwise you get into a little bit of trouble. Now my moon doesn't have a horizon yet, so I guess I need to come in there and do a little horizon-y stuff. And I think I'll turn this around. And I'm going to do the horizon this way. So I'm going to put this down here. And I still need to watch my moon. The line is going to be a little bit of a something. Full disclosure, my person that I was doing the idea of the moonrise is Michelle Zindorf, and she did mountains across, which now I'm regretting not doing that, but I didn't want to do that set, that. Now I'm like, rats. Okay, so I will do this because I am adaptable. I'm going to still... I just need a little line here, basically, don't I? Blue, blue, line. Ah! Don't you move, my horizon. Come back here, you horizon. And then, in fact, I am actually going to come in here with I must have shifted my moon at some point anyways, hey? It's okay, moons are supposed to be weird. I do want to have some black in there. I'm going to bring in, and this is just me mucking around now for real. Good, I do have some water in this pen. I'm going to bring in some water here. It's total silence as I do this. Talk amongst yourselves while I'm mucking around here. You'll be like, oh, Lord, it was going so good. It was. This might still be quite light across there. And then I have to say, I'll clean off some of my navy. And do I still have it in here? I had a microfiber in here for eons, and I feel like, in my mind's eye, I think it must have been on my floor. It's okay. Just a plain old washcloth probably also take quite a lot. Grabs the ink and will clean off, because I have a lot of colors on there. And I'm just going to bring in the pool party across there, period. Because it's quite... I got to have a mountain in there, I think, because that's too strong of a line. The moon, that's not working, bottom line. So I've got a mountain. I'll tell you what she did is why I'm kind of hooped. She actually tore a mountain, and that looked too much for me to do. That's why I wasn't going to do it. Now I'll know. I think I've seen other people do mountain things, but... First, I'm going to add just a little bit of pool party while I've got the light down, because I think that no matter how wonderful the moon is, it's still going to be covered a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Okay. And then I'm going to come in with the very dark navy blue and hope for the best here of my mountain. Still have this on here. Hang on a second. Oh my gosh, you guys, wish me well. I need my M for masking tape again, masking paper. I need something to be in the way of my mountains, of course. And then I'm going to have a little mountain behind on this far side too. Get over here, you little sucker. It's going to be great. Ah, see? Nice. I'm going to put a little mountain over here too. Ha ha, ha ha. You guys were a little skeptical, weren't you? I know, I could feel it. It's okay. I have faced bigger adversity than a mountain, for goodness sakes. La la! Okay. Okay, here we go. That changed everything, didn't it? Perfect. Okay, so now I need my trees. Oh, and then that mountain a little tiny bit going down, I guess. All right, here we go. So coming down here, I'm going to do it in the same color. Hopefully this is good. I don't remember her doing the mountain into the water, but there it is. And now these guys. So this was a good thought that she had, and I really agree with this, if I can find it. Bringing in that plastic again. Where is my plastic? So she could see where she was stamping. So in her case, she was stamping a single tree, and she just stamped back. I am going to do a reflection into the water, so I need my plastic now. I'm looking for my plastic. Looking for my plastic. Hi, Amy. Okay. All right, well, we'll do a new piece of plastic. Not the end of the world. What's this? There's a piece of plastic. That'll work. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp. This is super simple. But I'm just going to stamp onto here. Oh, and I just need to make sure. Okay, so I'm going to stamp over top of this. And I'm going to mask at the bottom. This is a whole extra step that I don't usually do, but this makes sense in this case, I think. And I could mask, and I'm going to mask anyway. So, okay, never mind. I'm just going to stamp it. That's okay. I'm going to stamp here. This is where I could use two pieces really nicely. Hang on a second. Okay, I'm just going to move. This is honestly one of my favorite cards ever, so I'm going to move it out of the way. All right. Looking for a piece of plastic, you guys. Hold on one second. I should have thousands of pieces here. I save for a girlfriend and everything. All my plastic. Here's a piece of plastic. This one's a double piece, so this is good. Okay. So I'm going to mask up here with the plastic so I can see what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? I can see where I am. And with this piece, I'm all on screen, yes. With this piece, I'm going to stamp onto the plastic. Now, you guys have seen me stamp onto plastic sometimes, and I've often said to you, it's really gooey. So I've done this as a hack. Why is that like that? Oh, there's a hole there. That is the only place on this entire bag I could not, like really, I couldn't stamp on there. And where did I stamp? Exactly on the spot that I couldn't stamp. That's so funny. That's so me. Oh my goodness, you guys. All right, so now I got a little black on there too. Gosh, okay. Don't stamp over the hole in your bag, your life-saving hole. Okay, so I'm just gonna stamp. Now you guys have heard me say, that's gooey. So I sometimes stamp onto plastic to actually do a placement. Oh, where would I like that to be? To actually literally be able to see, oh yeah, that'll look really good. I'm going to put an island there for a scene. Do you know what I mean? In this case, because we've got that great gooiness, we're going to work with that gooiness. So I have this lined up along the horizon so I can see where I want my reflection. And then it does twofold because, of course, I don't want it to be as long. So I'm going to bring it in here, and I am going to lay it down and stamp it. Okay. And I have the mirror. Now, this guy as well is going to be sticky, so I'm going to give him a little wipe. And I got to clean up the other guy as well. And I got to do them again on the other side. So again, I'll have my horizon here, stamp here. And you could do this in black, or you could do it possibly in the navy as well. That being said, I'm like, do we want to do it in navy? No, it would be black. And I sometimes, depending on if I'm really mirroring, now while you're doing this, you can take looks at your water. Take a look at pictures on Pinterest of actual mountain scenes, and you'll see sometimes the fabulousness of, and you want to make sure you have that plastic down, right? Sometimes in reflections and real reflections, you can, on the daytime, you can see the greens and the reds, like right on the autumn ones. Okay, clean this up, and then I gotta just do that other little bunch. And there. Has anybody used the plastic sheet before? I honestly had not. I'm not 100% sure where I first saw it, but, and then I'll show you one doing it the other way. With the other thing. So I need this one more time. And stamp. And of course it is the backwards mirror. Because if I just stamped it, it would be too dark. So you could stamp off and all that. But you need the shorter one to reflect where it is. I don't know what happened there. Little sucker. I'll have to fill in some stuff there. And then again here. He really didn't want to work there, did he? Come along here, you little sucker. I'm just going to press this guy down here a little tiny bit. I don't know why he was being weird. Okay, so now I'll move these guys away. And I need to have some more. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I need a little more darkness in there. And I'm not liking this. So maybe I'll clean up some of my color here. Trail that along. A little more darkness. And then if you have a gel pen, you can add a few little highlights as well. Where the moon would be reflected on. And do a little tiny bit of pretty subtle, but a little tiny bit of extra on there. And do we want stars in the sky? You can't hardly see them anyways. All right, they're not going, so I'm not going to do it because on a full moon night, you're not going to see it anyways. And then we would mount up this card, and there you go. So there's the reflections that way. Kind of pretty, kind of nice. You definitely can do it on a blue day, green, like you can do it on a sunshine one as well. And then you would just bring in your, right, that, and you'd color that in yellow, right? So you'd color in your sunshine after you'd masked for the sunshine. And I have one more idea. I don't know what time it is, but hopefully you want to hang around for a couple seconds. When I was down on the beaches, of course, the water comes up on a wave and it washes, there's water. And when you're walking, you can see the reflection, just like, honestly, right now, right? So that was part of my thought. Is it a shadow or is it a reflection? Well, it's actually a reflection. Like my light there is a reflection of my light, not a shadow. Do you know what I mean? So you can actually see. Can you see there? Can you guys see that? I don't know. No, you can't from the way you're looking. Okay, so I can't illustrate it online. But this glassy surface creates a reflection. It's not just, like my hand is literally there. It's not just the shadow, it's a reflection. So I was playing with that in my brain because that's how my brain works. And I was trying to come up with an idea. Now, what time is it? Because, oh, it's 10:44. Okay, I'm going to just show you a couple things and then I'll just show you what I did work on because I don't know that I have time to actually really. So let's try let's try the thing with the silicone pad to see what the difference is between silicone pad and not. So I will just quickly put some, I'll quickly lay some blue down here so that we have some color that is going on because it's not fair to put it on white. Okay. And let's try the same stamp just to be really fair. And we'll just do it with a silicone pad. If I can find where I put the silicone pad. What did I do with the silicone pad? Here it is. So let's see about this. Okay, so again, I put this away, but I actually need it to help me clean it up. Again, remember, I literally could stamp. I probably could do a whole nother reflection with this. And you guys are probably like, what are you doing now, Lori? I'm adding a little mountain in there. Okay, I say 17 times. Now I need, so I'll do it once in black and once in green so you can see what it looks like if it was a daytime or a nighttime scene, okay? Since I already have it black, I'll do black first. So get a horizon, Lori. Let's put this aside. All right, horizon, stamp them. Nice, Lori, nice. Okay, and you're going to have that little jump all the time. That wasn't my problem with my moon, but you do want to have this, when you place this, just FYI, you want to place it just not completely covering it, slightly not covering it because it jumps. Like it's got to jump and in this case there's two pieces there because it's a folded over, it's a whole bag instead of a single sheet of them. So I'm going to stamp that on here now. And this, I will say, I'm pretty sure it does a more crisp image. So you actually want to mist this a little tiny bit with water. I will show you once. Well, I'll go ahead and show you if you don't use water, and then I'll show you with water. So again, why I don't like this as much is how do you know where you're going, right? So that's my personal challenge when I was doing this. Once it's down, you can see where it is, but when it's up in the air, you can't see where it is. So it's a more solid look for sure. You might prefer that. I believe that most people suggest that you stamp it. Okay, and then, well, that's not fair. I didn't do a nice stamp job. Just a minute. And I'm hoping I have. What I would, actually, this is not a bad suggestion though. I'm going to bring in a little bit of, one of my water guns has a little blue in it. I think that might add a little bit of niceness to it. So let's give that a try. So I'm going to stamp one more on here. And even with the jump, I still was in trouble there. So I'm going to do a little bit more space this time. I'm going to stamp this guy again. Hello, Lori. Stamp him. Nice. Oh, that's going to be so nice. Look how jumped up. Oh, yes, that's bad, Lori. Okay. I think I got confused as to what I was supposed to be doing. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp this really nicely here. I hope I'm on screen. No, I'm not. Sorry, guys. Why am I not on screen? Go back a little tiny bit. Pull back. No, not up. Back. Okay. So I just have stamped him on here straight. And I'm going to hold this off camera anyways and just give it a little spritz so that it starts to bead. But I don't want the overspray on here. So I'm just going over my garbage can. I'm going to be up about this high and I'm just going to spritz. But I'm thinking it's going to be quite spritzy. I should have, to be fair to this thing, I'm going to do another one, guys. I'll show you what happened. The first spray did a big blobs. So I'm going to spray once off and then spray because I want it to be pooly, but not like crazy like that. That'll be too crazy, okay? So I'm just going to clean it off and do it again. It's just ink. Don't panic, guys. Just ink. Not even ink and paper at this point. Okay. Stamp. That one piece is already wet, so that's perfect. Again, I'm just going to go over. I'm going to spray once over so that my sprayer is working really good and go from there. Okay, so he's just misted. I'm going to let him kind of pool a little tiny bit. I don't want it to be runny. Now, the whole thing is a little messy, so I'll bring in a little bit of dry up around the area. This is where the bigger piece of paper is going to be handy. So you can see he's beady, he's puddly, he's beautiful. And I'm going to bring him down here and lay him down here. And hopefully not wreck my whole piece of paper with this wet cloth. Nice. I've got some inky stuff here, so I'm just going to, while that's on there, just do a little line. Haha. Ad-libbing. Okay, and then before that leaks underneath there, get it out of there. Okay. So I like it better with a little bit of blur because it looks more like a reflection as opposed to straight out, personally. And that's why I kind of like doing it on the plastic, because this one does too good of a job of transferring, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. And I'll do it on with Mossy Meadow. Hopefully, if I have Mossy Meadow right here. Shaded Spruce I'll do it with. I'm lying. And you can see what the green looks like in the water. And this one I'm really, really surprised. We spent a whole class playing with water reflections, and I have no idea. I did not nail them all. I know my personality, and I'm like, where did all of them go? All of them go. All right. So I'll show you green just so you can see. I think green works good too. Green alligators. It won't look right, you know what I mean, obviously, because some of it's green and some of it's not, but, and obviously I just need that one guy. Nice. And I'm going to spritz him as well. I do like the idea of using tinted water. My tint, I lost some, by the way. My spray is probably Coastal Cabana, which I would probably, like a pool party spray would be probably really nice to do. That's perfect spray, right? And then the extra spray in there just adds a little tiny bit of texture to it. So I think it's kind of nice. Again, I need my protector. And I'll bring this guy down. So nice. I guess you could press where you think the halfway button is. Oh, that's perfect. So you got a really nice little watercolory blur, because that's what he needs to look like, is watercolor, right? So this ink is a little bit more playing with water than black. So you get really beautiful effect there. Just because this is totally a scrap, just to give you guys a little bit of a So what if I then think I need a little bit of more ink around there? Let's see if we color over now. And then I'm going to keep the mat out here for one more thing for mirroring, although that was not, it's the reflections that we're doing, not mirroring. So even if next week we're doing mirroring, it's a different game. in reality. But say I think I want a little bit more color on here, and I'm like, oh, can I add more? What will happen to that? Well, let's find out what happens. Let's start with the light color. I need to have more color. So I'm going right over top of my inky image. It's not a very wet brush in this case. And I need to fill in all of that anyways too. So that's no problem with the light color. What if I go a little bit darker, Lori? Okay, well, let's go a little darker and see what happens. Let's see if it, what I'm trying to see is if it's going to blur it. It obviously won't blur my black, but will it blur my green? No. And if it does, I think it's just going to look like natural, right? So you can go back in and add your color that you need to make things beautiful and deeper, because now you're like, oh yeah, I need it to be darker. Okay, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And then of course we need to fill in at the top there. And I don't think it's a bad idea to fill it in just with a little black wiggle. This is a really wet line. And then some blue alligators and long neckies. Okay, so there's that idea. Okay, so now you get to see, and bring in your blue, soften everything out. And it is going to be darkest right at the earth, so let's get some dark in here. It's like, hooray! Okay, and that'll dry. I think it's going to be beautiful. That's so awesome. I love, love, love. Okay, so I believe, but I might be wrong, so maybe let's stamp one right here and see with the plastic. And let's see if we can get the same gorgeous look to be all fair in love and war between plastic and that sheet. Silicone sheets are really great for gluing on as well. And some people think that you shouldn't use the same gluey one for this as that. But let's give fair share. And I'm going to stamp this guy, this tree, in green. And let's see what he looks like when he's down, because I'm going to stamp the little guy in this case. The other one's there. So I'm going to do it on the edge, because I actually want to maybe try and do 2 of these. I'm just going to stick it in there because I can't use this as beautiful as it is. Do you guys ever do that? Your little sample piece is like, oh, can I recreate that? It's so gorgeous. So without water, I'm just going to stamp him right here on the edge here. And this is without water. And then we'll try it with water on the plastic as well. So he's still quite lovely. He's not as, he's different, but he is still a beautiful guy. I do really like this plastic sheety. Anyways, okay, we're gonna do one more, and we'll do him wet this time. We'll do a little spray on him. And I'm just trying to get this edge guy. Oh, perfect. Because you know I want my sample to be really pretty. Okay, and then I'm just going to go off screen and give that a little tiny spritz, and even less spritz than the other one if I can. I think I got it. Yeah, it's all spritzed. Okay, so now he's wet, and he's got water all over him, so I do want to dry some of that off. And then I'll show you my little bird on the beach reflection, and you can see what you think of him. Again, working with this idea. Okay, lay him in here and see what he looks like. Well, except for the line. Okay, so total win for the silicone for this fabulous little look. I don't think this transfers and holds and does the same job. So I wouldn't use water with this. Do use water with this. But you totally can see better with what you're doing here. Okay, to be fair, I'm just going to try it one more time since I got it right here anyways. Was it a bad job, or was it that it really doesn't work as good. I'm going to bring in the big guy. I'm going to stamp a full on. He's nice and inky. He's got wrinkles in him, but that's okay. It's because he's already kind of, he doesn't have anywhere to blur to. Do you know what I mean? Like his blurring is his blurring already. This guy was like solid and goes from there. Okay, so then I'm going to mist him. And he's got more water now this time, so that's good too. Letting it pool and puddle. Oh, it's time to go. Just wipe this. Let's just double check that it wasn't just a one-off bad on me, okay? I'm just going to do it down here. Oh, and I know that I read to somebody not to blur. Oh, now I've blurred him. Now he's all blurry. Okay, so more water, but that still also would be fabulous. Okay, so it was that I kind of didn't have enough water on that piece as much as I thought I did. Okay, you can use water on this guy. I did read, somebody said to just set it down, but allow it to absorb itself instead of you pressing it. And obviously I don't agree with that. I'm a presser. All right, so that's pretty. That creates a whole little scene. And in fact, going over this whole thing with the green and the black, I could even use this still on a panel somewhere because he's still gorgeous. Stampin'. I love it. He starts to bead right away, just FYI, hey? Because that's on plastic, that's what they do. Get rid of that. I'm going to spray this again and just see. Now you're just having fun with me, hey? Okay, there's that. And I'm just going to cover this guy up all together. Let's see what happens with that. Oops, I moved him. Oh, sorry, dude. I'm not pressing down the top part because it'd be weird. That piece right there. Yeah, because there could be a big black blob in the water. Pretty. I love it. So this is fun. Play with this weekend, you guys. I think that's fun. All right. As far as mirroring, we're not doing mirroring. We're doing reflection. So we worked on our reflection. Stay away from the mirroring. The reason this works really good for a mirror is it literally holds enough ink so that it actually mirrors it. Does that make sense? Whereas, yeah, mirroring is a whole other thing. Maybe we are doing mirroring next week because of the subtle difference between it. I will show you what I did. I had an idea to take a seagull and make him into a thing. And I'll bring this in after all. Because he's not a solid image, you need to, for reflections, they kind of work solid, but I feel like, I kind of felt like he needed to not have. Or maybe I could do this 2 parts. Okay, so I brought in a little bit of water and such. I'm just going to show you what I did, I guess. So I'm working with some sand, and I tore some water away, and I was masking and making some waves to make it look like hopefully the water that comes up on the beach. I'm not sure how good I was doing with that, but I was trying hard. Thanks, Natalie. That actually, it really did turn out pretty, hey? I was happy with it. I have to say, Shaded Spruce is really nice. I think Mossy Meadows would be good as well. And Evergreen would be nice to put in, but it's totally a mountain scene all of a sudden, hey? Da, 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 da. And I like the filling in part. Versus on this one, it's such crisp. It would have to be really, really still to be that crisp, right? So going realism, adding the water to it is a really good idea. And I'm glad I can do it with the paper. I just need a little tiny bit more water than on the other one because I can see where I'm laying it down. That's the only downfall with this is you think, okay, yeah, I can see it when it gets down there, but you can't. So I stamped this little guy on a piece of paper, plastic. I'm going to stamp him once right now, and like basically I'll have 2 of them here basically, but I want the other. Oh, good. I was going to say, I want a different seagull that's standing there. And sadly, I did him so far over at this point. But can I do him as well? No, he's going to be too close to this guy right now. So that's his reflection. And of course he's facing that way. Let's just do, this guy might be able to, this guy's like, come on, I got the fries. And this guy's like, come on, everybody. I could have him half off. Or do I just put him here and they're not looking at each other? I have trouble when he's not paying attention to who he's supposed to be paying attention to. I know I'm overthinking it. Okay, I'm going to put him right there. So I'm going to use my little plastic sheet that, again, I've lost. Why do I keep losing my plastic? Okay, well, I have another one with the hole. Pay attention. So in this case, I'm going to bring him in, and I'll show you why I'm going to do this is because I'm going to show you what he looks like if he doesn't have some coloring. And maybe he's better, but I'm feeling like he's got to have his body. A reflection has something on the inside. Anyways, okay, so stamp him. Oh, and caution, when you're stamping, although you do need to have a firm stamp, he also is slidey. Okay, so the more pressure you do, the more you want to slide. So just be careful. So then I'm going to bring him in here, and I am just going to wipe off. I'm going to have that their feet are disappeared. So I'm just going to wipe off his feet. Can you see what I'm doing? Sorry. Back up again. I just wiped off his feet. Okay, that's all I did. And he's still sticky. So then I'm just going to bring him in here. And I'm going to put him right beside here. And press him down. Why didn't he work? Oh, you little Dickens. I think I'm allowed to talk that much. And black is different than the other colors, but still. I should be able to just stamp him again. Line them up. You bad boy. Okay, there's the reflection. So now you guys can be the judge. Do you think that adding a little tiny bit of color, or because you can see, right? So I used I used some dark color, and I think a lighter color would be better. I think I can add it now as well. And I'm just going to, I thought a dark color would be good. But I'm thinking, and I don't think I have a pool party. Oh, you know what I do have though, and this one might work nicely. I do have a balmy blue, and that might work. So now you're like, well, now what are you going to do, Lori? Well, I'm just going to color him on here. Ha ha. So what I did, this is where I need to do the step by step for you guys so that you don't get lost. I stamped him once. Good gracious. I stamped this critter. And then I laid this on top. And I colored him. Okay. And I just rough colored him because he's just trying to fill in some color, right? And then I stamped over top of him. So I didn't do it as a two-step process. Do you know what I mean? But I just colored. And in this case, I'm just going to add it now. And I can't see it as good. So it'd be way better to have the stamp. I can't see it at all, actually. That is some light blue, man. Okay, I'll try it one more time while it's all going on here. He's definitely on there. Clearly, this isn't going to be dark enough. Hang on. Well, let's try it with this brighter blue. I might not like that it's kind of a muddy blue as opposed to bright blue. Let's add. And then I'll let you guys go. Thank you for hanging out with me. Oh, right. I'm trying to do it like water. So even though the wings should go the one way, you're trying to make it look like water. The reflection's not going to be perfect, right? It's going to be wavy. So a little wave's not going to hurt. This one I should be able to see. Yeah. So I don't have to. I would have just stamped over top of it again. And then I'm going to just lay that in here. So I think what I got to work on is to get the right color for it to be good. But I think the idea of him being clear is not right. Anyways, this was a little idea I had when I was watching all the birds running along, and I need to still color him, of course, but having all the little birds running along, and I thought it would be really funny to have their reflections in the water that as it's running away. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad I didn't spend the whole day doing that today with you guys. You work on that with me with the thought. But yeah, go and try a little reflection, and then definitely do a water sprayed reflection as well, because the water sprayed is really good. Yeah. Okay. I will leave you to it. Creativity for Everyone is a great place. If you are mucking around, honestly, I would love to see a whole bunch of little sheets like this, because you're mucking around, so you're not going to mount this maybe, but you're like, hi, I'm really proud of that. And you're going to store it into your little book that you're making of the ABCs right now. And you're like, yeah. And you might even make a little note. This was on a plastic sheet. This was on the silicone sheet. And you'll just be like, okay, now I know. Okay. And I didn't use enough water on that one. Yay. Things to note a year from now when you pull this back out and you're like, oh, I need to do that for Grandma. She would love that idea of a card. Then you have it, right? Do you know what I mean? So post this little piece. Just take a little snap and be like, okay, I gave it a go. And then people will be like, oh yeah, you did good, and you corrected, and what happened there, or whatever. I don't know. All right, ladies, I'll let you go. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. It was quiet in my mind. I was intense. When you really get inky, you get intense. It's a really good place to go. So go get your inks out and some white paper and go and play. All right, talk to you guys later. See you at cocktails tomorrow night. Woohoo! Bye-bye.